This program contains material that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Dragged under a covered wagon and being ripped to shreds.
I saw him being thrown. The last thing I saw was him bouncing around, and that was terrifying.
We got all kinds of problems out there.
Gored, tossed, and out cold.
I mean, she was just tossed up in the air again and again and again.
They told me she was dead. She'd been killed.
Then, a baby's cry and a mother's rage.
It's a very, very big risk. We have seen elephants trying to even knock down a vehicle.
Push! Push! Push!
Wild, uncensored, raw, heart-stopping animal encounters. Caught on tape by everyday people from all over the world. Computer-generated graphics will show you exactly what happened. And meet the survivors.
I'm looking at the deer in the mud and I'm thinking this deer is gonna die if we don't act.
All on Untamed and Uncut.
There's a horn. The charge is underway.
A chuck wagon race turns to pandemonium as a rider gets thrown from his cart and dragged underneath.
You just get beat up like a rag doll.
If the wheels don't mangle him, thundering hooves will. He tries to save himself while his little girl watches.
I went into complete panic mode, and I was crying and screaming.
Hook him up, knock him out. Whoops, get out of there, buddy.
Alberta, Canada, where chuck wagon racing is a tradition at rodeos and country fairs. The driver's Mark Sutherland, a husband and a father of two, and a second-generation chuck wagon racer. Mark's dad, Kelly, is a legend on the circuit. Kelly's been driving chuck wagons for 40 years.
This is how the wagon driver positions himself. He uses the corner of the box with his feet.
Kelly taught Mark everything he knew. But even the legend didn't know how he'd react if the worst were to happen to his son.
I don't think anybody prepares himself for a severely injured or a fatality with a child. I mean, that's not supposed to happen. Old guys are supposed to die, you know, prior to the young guys, and that's how life goes on.
Each wagon is pulled by 4 retired thoroughbreds. They're too old for thoroughbred racing, but still full of speed and spirit. There are no seatbelts, and the wagons weigh 1,300 pounds. Once made of wood, they now utilize lots of steel. Even the wooden wheels are rimmed with steel.
And that thing is gonna break everything in its path before it goes over. If it's an arm, a leg, breaks it off and goes up. If it's a head or chest wound, that's fatal.
An instant before the race begins, there's a problem with Mark's team. His horses suddenly lurch forward. The stress pops a bolt on a harness. Now he has problems steering.
What we have here is the actual harness that Mark was using when the accident occurred. This bolt sheared off.
Mark makes it through a hair-raising U-turn at the top of the course. His daughter Kira, who's in the stands, has no idea her dad's in serious trouble.
The start of the race was fine until he flipped.
He entered the first turn, and I could see him sitting on the seat pulling, and I knew something was wrong.
I saw his wagon upset, and I saw him being thrown. So the last thing I really saw was him bouncing around, and that was just terrifying.
Right here, the wagon to Mark's left hooks him. His rig nearly topples, and he spills out. His leg tangles in the reins. There's only 5 feet between the front and rear wheels, and he goes right between them. As the wagon starts to fishtail, the motion drags Mark under. Thinking fast, he grabs the reach, part of the undercarriage, and pulls himself between the spinning wheels. But in the process, the rear wheel grazes his head.
Get out of there, buddy.
Now his life hangs in the balance. He's hurt, inches off the dirt. And to make matters worse, the horses could trip on their own lines.
What if a horse goes down? I mean, if a horse goes down and he's hung up underneath there, he's going to be right in the middle of it.
Mark tries to untangle the reins looped around his leg. It looks like an Indiana Jones movie, but if he slips, he's dead.
Onto the reach underneath. This is getting pretty western. His outriders are going to stop him.
Two outriders approach. Their job? To try and slow the rig. Rio King is the outrider with the blue helmet.
One of my best friends is underneath that wagon, and I'm going to stop that wagon. I don't care what it takes.
First, Rio tries to get control of the runaway team of horses.
I get up beside the wagon, then I grab my hands like this,
Then we've got Jason Johnstone trying to pull up.
and I grab a hold of the outside line on the wheeler.
Ford is running on the outside.
He grabs his outside line on his wheeler, too.
Not in his wagon. He's hanging on to the reach.
And then we can go ahead and start pulling the horses up.
Buddy Bensville, what he's
But these horses don't want to stop.
You can pull on them all you want. Some of them just, they don't care. They'll run.
So the rescuer tries to overtake the lead horse. If he can control the lead horse, he can control the whole team. But if he stops the team too abruptly, he'll cause a deadly pileup.
Believe it or not, is hanging on to the reach underneath that wagon. Buddy Bensville.
Suddenly, Mark risks everything and tries to climb out. The rig crosses the finish line with Rio holding back that lead horse.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
Then after a hellish minute and a half,
We're right here. We've got all the outriders now trying to stop the chuck wagon.
it's over.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. Wow.
You know, it was pretty intense, and I've seen guys get killed on the racetrack.
It seemed like it just took forever and ever for the wagon to come to an actual stop.
The first thing I seen was Mark. He was standing, and I just turned and walked away and said thanks.
And it looks to me like Mr. Sutherland is up and okay.
Mark has a gash in his head, but he's able to walk. He embraces his wife, Dina.
She was kind of crying, and, you know, I hugged her and told her I was all right and everything was okay.
Then, like a true cowboy, he goes right to his beloved horses and his favorite, a thoroughbred named Shady.
And I grabbed Shady because I knew his harness was unhooked, and I don't think anyone else knew, and I just had to make sure someone had a hold of him.
Turns out Mark was just as concerned for his horses' safety as he was for himself.
Once the horses were off the wagon, then I had a sense of relief. I looked at them, they were all fine. You know, it was really a huge sigh of relief.
And then finally, his little girl finds him. She's overwhelmed.
When I ran up to him, I just gave him a hug and told him that I loved him and I wanted him to be more careful next time.
Mark is incredibly lucky. He has superficial back and shoulder injuries, and that nasty gash in his head doesn't even require stitches.
He landed just right, and he went under that wagon just right, and he got out of there just right.
Mark went back to racing, but he promises to be more careful for his daughter's sake.
Just draw strength from the fact that you need to survive because you have family and a reason to live. And I guess that's why I hung on.
We got all kinds of problems out there in that.
He is pure, unbridled fury. This raging bull zeroes in on a target. A woman with no means of defending herself.
A bull like that can do incredible damage.
And there's a chilling, ironic twist to this brutally savage attack. The victim is an animal rights activist, trying to save bulls like her attacker from torture and death. Vicky Moore's home in Manchester, England was always filled with animals. She and her partner Tony had a soft spot for creatures in need.
See an animal in distress, we'd take it in and care for it, try and find it a home. If not, it became a member of the family.
At the age of 42, Vicky came across a newspaper article that changed her life forever.
About a donkey that was going to be crushed to death in Spain, and she said we have to do something about it.
They did. She generated so much media attention that the donkey was saved. Vicky Moore, animal activist, was born.
It became an obsession with us and a total driving force.
Vicky and Tony created the organization, Fight Against Animal Cruelty in Europe. But their efforts were not welcomed by everyone. Over the years, they received several death threats. Undeterred, Vicky traveled the world, sometimes in disguise, secretly documenting what she considered animal atrocities. One event Vicky was especially against was an annual festival in Coria, Spain. She shot this home video there.
Very, very savage event. The bulls go through this process of being run through the streets, of being taunted, of having things thrown down on them, and they are eventually killed in front of the cathedral.
Anthony Thomas, a documentary filmmaker, is heading to Coria to shoot the bull run.
Vicky said to me that she would like to come out with us and act as an advisor.
But once there, Vicky tells Antoni she shouldn't be seen with him or his crew.
She felt she was in personal danger, not from bulls, but from the people in the town.
So Vicky is alone, taking pictures when the bulls are let loose on the city streets. One is a terrifying beast named Argentino.
That bull is 575 kilos, probably 1,400 pounds. Real aggressive, real dangerous.
Bull expert Coleman Cooney says hundreds of years of careful breeding in Spain have created the ultimate fighting bulls.
They achieved a big, dangerous, homicidal animal. This bull is in full aggressive mode.
An agitated Argentino is about to turn a corner when someone drops water onto him from above. He changes his course. Just a few feet away is Vicky. She's desperately trying to climb up a window and out of danger.
I think it's very likely that she was looking through the camera and lost perspective on where the bull was.
Tragically, she's not quick enough. As Vicky clings to the window, Argentino rams her from below. His razor-sharp horn impales her right foot, then drags her down onto the street below.
It was a massive goring. I mean, she was just tossed up in the air, again and again and again, the horns penetrated.
He's trying to do all the damage he can do. He's trying to completely neutralize any danger to him.
The attack is over in 30 seconds. Defiantly, Argentino then stands over Vicky's bloody, battered body. No one can get to her to help. 4 long minutes tick by. The bull is eerily still. Only when he's poked with a stick from above does Argentino finally move away. The townspeople rush over to Vicky, hoping it's not too late to save her life. Tony Moore, who's back home in England, gets a phone call from Spanish police.
They told me she was dead. She'd been killed.
Up next, could anybody survive this? Then, a dog has fallen through the ice, and the rescuer is in over his head. It's all next on Untamed and Uncut. This program contains material that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. It's one of the most horrendous attacks ever caught on tape. Vicky Moore, an animal rights activist out to stop abuse, is viciously gored by a fighting bull in Coria, Spain.
You know, an animal has a chance to retaliate. Ironically, it retaliates against the person that cared most deeply about it.
Anthony Thomas is in Coria filming the bull run when word spreads of Vicky's attack.
I went straight to the hospital to see her. I was told by the doctor right at the beginning that nobody had survived in injuries like this.
Vicky's encounter with Argentino, a 1,500-pound fighting bull, leaves her ripped to pieces, inside and out. 8 ribs are broken. A kidney is destroyed. A lung is punctured. She's on the verge of death. And no one believes she will survive. Her partner, Tony Moore, gets the terrifying call at their home in England.
I didn't faint, but I think I got very near. Everything went dead.
Reports that she's dead are wrong. Vicky is hanging on, but barely.
She's unconscious. She can't breathe on her own, and she could die any time.
It's touch and go for 4 long weeks. She fights with every ounce of her being. Vicky refuses to die. Eventually, her condition stabilizes. When she can finally speak, her first question to Tony, what happened to Argentino?
I said they shot him, which of course they would do, and she burst into tears. She was not just crying for Argentino. She was crying for all the animals.
I was lucky though, actually, because normally one horn is enough if it hits the right place, and that was a great miracle, that apart from a punctured lung, the wounds were not life-threatening.
Vicky never fully recovered from the attack. Sadly, this is one of her last interviews. Vicky died in 2000 from cancer, but continued her fight for animal rights until the end. The attack made her famous, and she used that fame to speak out against animal abuse.
In a strange way, it was a way of highlighting all the problems for the animals.
In those last 5 years of her life, Vicky took every opportunity to speak out for the creatures with no voice.
It's futile, it's unnecessary. It's to provide an afternoon's drunken sport. Now, I don't think that's justification for the torture and death of the animals and the considerable rising death toll of human beings either.
Today, Vicky's legacy lives on in a book.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And her partner, Tony, runs a store that raises money for the organization they founded, hoping to carry on her fight to help save animals. Looking back, Tony realizes Vicky's love for animals was an unstoppable force.
She was driven to do something, and if I had stopped her, it would be like stopping her life. She felt so passionate about these things.
A beloved pet pooch has fallen through ice into frigid water.
I couldn't lose her.
The owner is panicking because the animal's been in there for at least an hour. Shivering, freezing, and help isn't coming.
I called 911 and I said, if you don't get out here, I'm going in and you're gonna have to come and rescue me.
It happened under the blue skies outside Reno, Nevada, where Donna Higo shared her ranch with a beautiful female setter mix named Cinnabar.
Cinnabar was the most energetic, fun-loving dog. Loved to play with toys, loved to run, loved to bark. Cinnabar definitely was a member of the family.
Cinnabar loved chasing geese around a lake on the property. But on a snowy day in January, she went through the ice.
I stopped breathing. My heart practically stopped because I was like, oh, no.
Cinnabar is about 25 feet from dry land, and Donna doesn't have a boat. She considers going in the water, but realizes it's so cold it could kill her. So she calls 911.
They said, yeah, someone would come, and 15 minutes later, there's nothing happening. So I call 911 again.
But emergency responders are overwhelmed by the winter storm.
It was a busy morning. We had a lot of calls, a lot of wrecks. And so our engine companies were very busy that morning.
Captain Dale Kiriazi of the Reno Fire Department says dispatch is doing its best. Unfortunately for Cinnabar, people must come first.
And a lot of times, too, when we get calls for dogs in the water, they do what they call self-extricate. They get out before we even get there.
But Cinnabar can't self-extricate.
And she kept swimming back and forth, back and forth. Those eyes of hers were pleading with me to get her out of there.
Cinnabar is losing body heat. But the immediate threat isn't hypothermia, it's drowning. As hypothermia kicks in, her blood pressure will go down, her heart rate will decrease, and her limbs will get stiff. She'll get lethargic. She'll be unable to hang on or doggy paddle. Then she'll slip beneath the frigid water.
I knew she couldn't last much longer. She had been in almost an hour and a half, and she was starting to slow down.
Help finally arrives. With local news cameras rolling, a rescuer heads out, but goes right through the ice.
And when he broke through, that scared me.
Up next, just how far will this woman go to save the dog she loves? Plus, a baby elephant is hurt.
I saw a huge swelling, like the size of a football on her leg.
And now Mama is mad. It's all coming up on Untamed and Uncut. Donna Higo's beloved pet Cinnabar is fighting for her life in water cold enough to kill.
My last call to 911, I told them, if you don't get out here to get her, I'm going in right now. I'm going in to get her.
When we heard that, we knew we had a problem.
Captain Dale Kiriazi of the Reno Fire Department realizes Donna is dead serious.
I thought, uh-oh, now we're going to have not only a dog in the water, we're going to have a human in the water, we're going to have a dual rescue.
Within minutes, the fire company is at the ranch, and cold water rescuer Chris Taylor puts on a protective suit. Right away, Chris crawls out on the ice toward the struggling canine.
Doing good, Chris.
It's a desperate race against time because Cinnabar is fading fast.
The dog was breathing hard. He was having a real tough time.
Then suddenly, Chris feels the ice shatter beneath him.
As I broke through the ice, she became a little bit excited and started to actually growl at me.
Chris smashes the ice to make a channel to the dog.
The fireman told me, yell at her, keep her going, because she's starting to lose it. So I started to yell at Cinnabar and actually say, you're a bad dog. What did you do? How could you do this?
But things start to go wrong right here.
Cinnabar was swimming away from him. Cinnabar wouldn't go near him.
People go to rescue an animal, they grab at him, the dog panics and bites him in the face or wherever.
Cinnabar's vet, Dr. Don Long, says in extreme situations, stressed animals, even loving pets, can strike out.
The rescuers are very aware of that. They're very cautious about it because they can be injured in trying to rescue the pet.
But Chris catches a break.
As I got closer and started to talk with her and try and be friendly to her, she finally decided to swim towards me.
Come on, sweetheart.
Incredibly, Cinnabar lets Chris move in behind her, where most dogs would feel extremely vulnerable, and she allows him to push. As exhausted as she is, she bravely doggy paddles.
I was calling to her, and she was heading right towards me.
And then I was able to get her up onto the ice.
Donna can hardly contain herself as Cinnabar climbs onto ice thick enough to support her weight and gets close enough for a rescuer to grab her. Finally, the frozen pooch is on solid ground. Rescuers wrap her in blankets and rush her to an animal hospital.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, mwah. I'm gonna hug you. I don't care if anyone.
At the vet, she gets a blow dry. Miraculously, she has only mild hypothermia. The vet says she'll be okay, thanks to good doggy genes.
Cinnabar was in excellent physical condition. She's a retriever cross. She had a good heavy coat.
The only residual effect from her ordeal? For a while, Cinnabar actually lost the ability to wag her tail.
Within a month, it was fine, and her tail was back to normal, so she could wag it like a normal dog.
Today, she's a little older, hopefully a little wiser. But in case she hasn't learned her lesson, Donna doesn't let her anywhere near that pond.
So she can no longer run like she did when she was younger, but she still has a good time anyway. Oh. Loving life.
What you see out there? What's got your attention?
A baby elephant is badly injured, limping pitifully.
Any wound like that on an animal, small or large, if it's left long enough, will result in death.
In her weakened state, she's an easy meal for lions or other predators. But when a rescue team intervenes, everything goes to hell in a handbasket.
Push! Okay, push! Okay!
If a lion finds a baby alone, it will kill it immediately.
Samburu National Reserve, Kenya. It's supposed to be a safe haven for African elephants. But poachers and predators are always on the prowl. So a group called Save the Elephants watches over them.
So the daktari, that's the baby. You know, you see the big female. Yeah, you see the baby just on the left.
David Doblin is on patrol when he spots an 8-month-old baby who seems to be in severe pain.
She was injured. She had a problem with one of her legs. And we saw, whoa, what is that?
Veterinarian Dr. Stephen Chege worries she's been snagged in a poacher's wire snare.
Could be a wire snare, not very clear from here.
I saw a huge swelling, like the size of a football on her leg.
Dr. Ian Douglas Hamilton, who founded Save the Elephants, realizes they'll have to sedate the baby. But that means drugging her 3-ton mama, too.
It's quite risky to immobilize a tiny elephant. First of all, you have to immobilize the mother because she's going to defend the baby. And then you have to do the baby itself.
They shoot the mom with a potent sedative. The spooked herd starts to move. That's it. And the humans chase them.
We use a very powerful drug. You can get enough under your fingernail, put down a fully grown bull African elephant.
Elephants won't hesitate to attack if they feel threatened. And right here, the mother trumpets her anger. The baby is frightened too.
Okay, she's going to go on. It's very natural that, you know, the young ones will always run to their moms, and she immediately ran to the mom.
But the baby runs to the worst possible place, right underneath her mother. And now the sedatives are starting to kick in, and the 3,000-pound elephant's legs are getting wobbly. If the little one stays put and mama falls, the baby will be crushed.
The baby was sort of moving around, sometimes under the mother, sometimes a little bit apart.
The men scramble to pull the baby away before the 3-ton pachyderm comes crashing down. Up next, can they pull her to safety?
I need help now.
Or is the baby doomed? Then, role reversal.
You watch yourself, he'll pull you in there, Steve.
Deer hunters to the rescue.
She was just hoping we'd just get her out of there. I'm sure of that.
It's all caught on tape on Untamed and Uncut. This program contains material that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. A rescue team drugs a huge female elephant so they can save the life of her injured calf.
I need help now.
The drowsy mom is about to fall over and crush the baby.
David, let's try to push the mama.
Suddenly, her legs buckle and she collapses.
I want 2 people to be the calf. Okay. See where can everybody help there? Let's be the calf.
And luckily, when she subsided, the baby was not directly underneath her.
The baby avoids the tumbling mom. But now Dr. Ian Douglas Hamilton and the rescue team have another emergency. The sedated mother could actually stop breathing.
When an elephant goes down on its stomach, what we call the sternal position, that's not very good because they breathe through their diaphragm. So when they go down, you want to pull them onto their side. And indeed, that's what we tried to do.
They put bark in her trunk to keep her airway open and hook her to a truck with tow ropes. But when the truck backs up, the rope snaps like a piece of string. Time is running out. They try again. As Ian backs up the truck, rescuer David Dublin and his group push.
Okay, let's just push rather than be. Push, 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 push. Okay, fine.
With the mother's breathing stabilized, they can finally attend to the injured baby. They sedate her and the doctor examines her leg. But even now, they have to keep an eye on the herd.
In situations like that where we have 2 elephants down, anything can happen. Other elephants can charge you and, cause injuries, cause death.
It's a painful injury, but not from a snare. It's a broken leg. And Dr. Stephen Chege knows if it gets infected, it could cost the baby her life.
So if you don't treat it, if you don't manage it, they eventually die. So what I'm doing is actually putting an antibiotic.
The doctor gives her a shot, and they revive her with an antidote for the sedative. But she's dazed and disoriented, and she heads for a vehicle. In her confused state, she could think it's her mother.
She doesn't know anything. She just wants to be with her mom.
Then, as mom is being revived, the baby takes off into the brush. Even with a broken leg, she could run for miles. But once on her own, she's as good as dead.
A lion finds a baby alone, it will kill it immediately.
Mom's disoriented too, and incredibly, she starts to walk away. If they don't find each other, it's a disaster.
The mama is almost everything for the baby because, she has to suckle this baby. The baby has to learn many, many things from the mom.
Ian gambles everything on a hunch. He backs his truck up to the baby.
Let's open the car.
I let the engine just idle, and the baby turned around and it came running towards the car, as if it was a mother.
The rumbling engine reminds the baby of the rumbles her own mother makes, and she follows it like a puppy.
And that's good enough.
I jumped out of the car, ran around behind the baby and gave it a big push towards the mother. All it needed was a final push. She rumbled. The baby rumbled. And she put her trunk around the baby, and they ran off into the bush.
In the months that follow, the team watches over the baby and her mom. To everyone's delight, the baby's leg heals, and the family is doing fine.
It's very fulfilling, actually, very satisfying. As a veterinarian, it's helping animals, so we actually feel very good.
Felt very, very joyful after all of them joined together and all went their way into the bushes.
And now an untamed shortcut. An octopus is fascinated by a wrench. The tool was being used by a diver to open a manhole cover on the seabed off the southeast coast of Australia. That's also where the octopus made its home, so it comes out to take a look. The octopus is so preoccupied it doesn't see what's approaching it from behind. Out of the murky depths comes a cuttlefish, its deadliest enemy.
Oh my God, what just happened?
The diver's shocked to see the front of the cuttlefish open up as it goes in for the kill. Cuttlefish are highly intelligent and sometimes called the chameleons of the sea for their ability to change color when threatened. They can also squirt a cloud of ink to escape a predator. For centuries, that ink was used as a dye. What is its name? Is it A, magenta, B, sable, or C, sepia? The answer when Untamed and Uncut returns. A cuttlefish launches a sneak attack on an octopus. The underwater combat takes place right in front of a diver who films the action.
Oh my God, what just happened?
Cuttlefish are not fish at all. They're members of the mollusk family, along with snails and octopuses. That brownish-gray ink they squirt is used as a dye, and the dye is called sepia. So the answer is C, sepia. But in this case, the cuttlefish is not on the defensive. It wants octopus for lunch. Like something out of a sci-fi movie, the front of the cuttlefish opens up. It crushes the octopus with its beak. Then it drags the doomed creature away to the amazement of the diver.
Oh my God, I can't believe what just happened.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
A deer is in a desperate fight for her life. Trapped in clay as dangerous as quicksand. She's flailing and thrashing in muck as thick as molasses. But it's no use.
I'm looking at the deer in the mud and I'm thinking this deer is going to die if we don't act, and we have to act quickly.
Her only hope, 4 strangers who would normally be her mortal enemies. A family of deer hunters.
We love animals too, just like everybody else does. If we see an animal suffering, who wouldn't go out and save an animal? You know, you do all that you can to save it.
Boy, he's bogged down in there, you know it.
It's February in Pennsylvania, and Jim Slatt is out hiking near a limestone quarry when he spots 2 white-tailed deer dart across a clay field.
They ran across the clay rather quickly, and the one went around this bog, and there was one that went into the bog.
Runoff from a mining operation has turned the field into a slurry of limestone dust and water. It's thick like cement mix, and it traps the doe about 25 feet from solid ground. She's gripped with fear, and she fights so hard, the shock alone could kill her.
It's almost like a suction where it drags your feet down in.
Jim calls in his dad, Bob Slatt, to help. They decide there's only one safe way to save the deer.
We were worried about our safety, absolutely.
To lasso it by the neck and drag it out.
He's gonna get too damn tired, pooped out, and his nose is gonna stick in there, he's gonna die.
But even after many attempts, they just can't rope the deer.
Too damn bad. Why don't we call Steve and Brandon to come down and help us?
So Jim calls his brother Steve.
He called to say there's a deer trapped in a mud hole and he needed some help to rescue it.
Steve Slatt and his son Brandon arrive with a ladder and some lumber.
The only way we could have gotten close to the deer was with a makeshift bridge or ladder.
They lay the ladder in the muck, hoping it'll support the rescuer's weight.
You watch yourself, he'll pull you in there, Steve.
But they're still not close enough.
Where's that other board?
Get closer here.
So they lay down a narrow board, and Steve walks the plank to within 5 feet of the doe, just close enough to get the rope around her neck.
You got it down over?
When I finally got the rope around the deer, we both had to pull it because it was almost like a suction.
But the rope is like a noose, and every time the men pull on the line,
Jesus, crying out loud.
The doe lets out a horrifying groan.
It started to choke the deer.
He's about petered out, you know it.
It was unlike anything I heard from a deer before.
Now the very men trying to save the deer fear they may have just killed her.
I'm thinking it's 3/4 dead, you know, just her last couple of breaths.
Coming up, has their mission of mercy turned into a death watch? That's next on Untamed and Uncut. A family of hunters in Pennsylvania are trying desperately to save, of all things, a helpless deer. She's trapped in clay-like mud so thick it's impossible for her to get out.
You watch yourself, he'll pull you in there, Steve. Once you get in that clay, you ain't getting out.
Bob Slatt videotapes while his sons Jim and Steve and grandson Brandon work their way out to the deer on a makeshift plank.
I didn't know how much time the deer had left. I was struggling.
They manage to get a rope around her neck, but when they start to pull her out...
I made some grunt noises.
Jesus, crying out loud.
But I thought the deer was actually dead.
He's about petered out, you know it.
If you get that lasso around the neck, you run the risk of dragging it out and potentially strangling the animal.
Bob Warren studies deer at the University of Georgia. He says they're just not equipped to survive a treacherous man-made hazard like the clay pit.
With the thin, spindly legs, these are well adapted to enable the deer to run through the forest. The pointed nature of their hooves would, if anything, help embed it more into the mud.
As the doe struggles, those pointy hooves dig her in deeper. With every inch she sinks, more and more mud sticks to her coat. Now, instead of her fur insulating her from the cold, the compressed mud is now trapping the cold next to her body.
So that deer stuck in the mud probably was losing body heat, as well as the stress and everything else it was experiencing.
We saw that she was very exhausted. She did put her head down.
The rope come off of him.
After several failed attempts, the noose slips off. But an amazing thing happens. The deer seems to decide the humans are okay.
She wasn't afraid anymore. She was just hoping we'd just get her out of there. I'm sure of that.
All of these experienced hunters believe the doe is now accepting their help.
She was being very still. Allowed me to put the rope around her neck, grab her legs, pull the legs up out. She wasn't flailing away. She was pretty much allowing us to do whatever we wanted to do.
You got him. Just drag him out now.
The men tie the deer's hind legs so it won't kick, and they drag her to solid ground.
Way to go, guys.
But the men fear it's too little, too late.
It was laying there like lifeless pretty much.
I'm thinking the deer's dead. I'm thinking this deer's not going to get up. The deer's spent.
But the tale of this deer isn't over yet.
Yeah, cut that, Steve.
They cut the rope from her neck, and the men drag the doe to the road. And when Steve cuts the ties from around her legs...
that way.
Then amazingly, she sprung up and ran off.
The doe sprints about 100 yards up the road to the crest of a hill.
Look, I'm standing there now. He's thinking, you guys, see?
For more wild, shocking, and outrageous videos, visit our website at animalplanet.com/Untamed and Uncut.